and I got 26 in a few hours. So she clearly was like, hey, everybody, you know what I mean? So if you do guest posts and have people post on your blog, you can hopefully get some of their viewership, and hopefully some of them will follow you. And I know 26 is not a huge number, but it sure is better than 3. All right. So anyway, that's the screenshot of the post on LinkedIn. Okay, so another thing you can do, if you have time for it and you want to do it, is contests and giveaways. We haven't done any on the TSMRI blog. Sometimes the library does them. A couple of words of advice. Make sure you give yourself enough time. You don't want to let people know like the day before it starts, and then there's 2 people in the contest, and everyone else is mad because they didn't know about the contest, right? And then they might be saying stuff about you on Twitter, and it's just bad. So make sure you publicize it ahead of time. Don't assume everyone has a smartphone. They might not be able to tweet or hashtag or do something right away. If you're doing it in person, for example, the library is having an orientation session in a couple weeks, then we'll probably do some social media stuff. Well, if somebody's there and they don't have a camera phone, we don't want them to feel left out, so we'll probably have like a drawing slip or something, and that way it won't be like, oh, thanks a lot, you know? So have some kind of alternative if you do it in person, and then if you can, try to get permission before you post people's pictures, or make sure they at least know that you're taking their picture, and that way there's not any unpleasant surprises or anything like that. Okay, so a couple more things. If you're just starting out and let's say your audience is a specific group or specific gender, I've found this website to be really helpful, and you don't necessarily have to write the URL because we are going to be tweeting it out. But anyway, Pew Research, Internet Research Center project, they are always doing different research studies on are young people really leaving Facebook for Tumblr, or is that just kind of something that people are saying? What platform are people over 60 most likely to be on? Are more men or more women on social media? You know, who's on Pinterest the most? That kind of thing. And so they're a really good resource, and that way you'll have some solid stats, and it won't just be like, well, I heard someone say that on Twitter, so I hope it's true. You know what I mean? Be more solid research. So that's a really good website. If you're Googling on social media research, now you don't have to do this. There's so many blogs out there that you'll probably find what you need and it'll be fine. But if you want sources that are a little more reliable, this is a little trick that you can use in Google. And I think it might also work in Bing, but I haven't tried it. If you type site:.edu and then your search terms, like let's say social media research, site:.edu, that will narrow all your results to domains that end in edu, so it's going to be university and college sites. So they're not perfect, but they'll be a little bit more reliable. Similarly, if you do site:.gov, you'll get government studies, research, things like that. Now, you don't have to do that, but I do it occasionally because it really cleans out the other stuff. I could also use Google Scholar. Now, if you don't have access to a database through your public library or through a university library, you could try the DOAJ, Directory of Open Access Journals. Those are journals that are available online. You don't have to pay to see the articles, and you can go in there and put in Facebook or Twitter, different search terms, and you can get some articles that come up. Or shameless plug. We have our own journal at TSMRI. It's called the Journal of Social Media and Society. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, wink, wink. It's peer-reviewed, it's open access, and or if somebody's doing research or you're doing research and you'd like to submit, you can do that as well. I'm just saying. All right, and then our blog is at tsmri.blogspot.com. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Question. Okay. Here's what I'd like to do. Maybe some brainstorming and kind of review if there's any topics on there that we haven't done that you guys want to go over, or if you have any suggestions or things that you've tried that have worked or maybe not worked so well. What do y'all want to talk about?
I want to talk more about Pinterest.
Okay.
Because Pinterest, I kind of got off of it for a little bit, and then I got back on. I'm like, why are people following me? I don't really do that. and I really just like things and then add them to my thing, but I never post anything personally.
Right.
So how do you go about doing that? Because doesn't it have to link to something else?
Yeah, it has to be, first of all, there has to be an image. If it's just text, it's not going to work.
Okay.
And then it has to go with a blog post, or it does have to go with something.
Okay.
And it might just be that people are really, let me log in here. People are really liking what you're pinning,
Okay.
or what you already have there. All right, just log in now. Thank you. Yeesh. All right. Let's see.
So how could you, I guess, reach, like if you're trying to market or promote something, how would you do that through Pinterest?
Right.
Well, if you have like a page or pictures of your products, you could essentially use the picture from each of those pages and link the pinning to those.
If I were to get on there, I would post pictures of like my library supplies that I've made or something. So they have memories of these things.
Okay, here's a notification. It'd be nice if, okay, it's still not letting me know about the, how I notified us. This is that blog post, and I said I would mention, let me just show y'all real quick, and then I can tweet it out later, and we'll go back to talking about Pinterest. So this is the latest post on our blog, and she basically walks you through the steps, and this is just stuff that nobody really tells you, and so how would you expect people to know? But at the same time, if you're not careful with images, you can't be sued. So it's kind of, in a way, it's kind of unfair. It doesn't happen very often, but that's not really comforting when it's getting sued. Oh, it doesn't happen often, just me, right? So anyway, here are the steps. This is kind of an infographic here, what some of the Creative Commons licenses look like, what that means, those little stick figures. It's okay to share, but don't change it. You can use it, but not if you're going to make money off of it, things like that. And then she did a screenshot of a Google search. Well, yeah, it's a little bit bigger. Let's see if I can. That one. Okay, so if you go into Google Images, size, color, type, usage rights, not filtered by license, label for reuse with modification, label for non-commercial reuse. And I had no idea that was even in there until someone showed me. Because I usually would just go straight to Google Images, and then I'm not looking around for different types. And right, you just get your image and go. So I didn't even know that was there until relatively recently. She also gives you different choices. There's Wikimedia Commons, which is like Wikipedia, but it's just images. There's something called Pixabay, which I'm not familiar with. There's also an open clip art library. And so she talks about why should you do attributions, so you don't plagiarize. How would you feel if someone used one of your images? And it's happened to her. Her blog is somewhat popular. It's a genealogy blog. And people, I guess, liked her images, and they went ahead and took them without asking her, and she wasn't happy about that. But anyway, it's a really good post. It walks you through some of the steps. It's really helpful. And I'll just go ahead and show you. This is her genealogy blog. She's had it, I think, for a few years. Okay, it's a little wonky, I think, probably because it's image heavy. Anyway, so I would definitely recommend that. But going back to Pinterest, I have to be honest, I feel like I'm not exactly an expert on Pinterest. I'm on there as me, and I'm on there as TSMRI, and I feel like we could be getting more pins and more interaction, but I'm not sure what the purpose would be. Like, if we had followers on Pinterest, are they going to go to the conference because they liked one of our some e-cards on social media? Or is it more like, hee, that's cute, pin? Because the board that we get the most action from is, I think it's just called Funny. And that's like far and away the most popular board. Yeah, here it is. Okay, so, yeah, here it is. And not all of it is some e-cards, but a lot of it is, I now pronounce your husband and wife, you may have your Facebook status, blah, blah, blah. I don't always pin, but when I do, I pin 5,000 things at one sitting. I can relate to that. But anyway, so this seems to be the most popular, and people think it's funny, and that's great. I mean, I'm glad about it, but then it's like, are we getting them to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like what he was saying about getting to your goal. That's
right.
That's what I'm struggling to with.
Right.
I mean, it's neat and it's fun.
Yeah.
But am I getting
Right.
a real purpose out of it?
And I
Like,
enjoy
you
it.
have to spend time on it, because
Right.
you spend time on it. With social media, there's so much of it, you have to,
You have
your
to be
time,
choosy.
yeah, you have to choose.
Right, and it's hard because everything's so
What
shiny and, yeah, and
And-
new.
And one thing that just really clicked to me, clicked for me actually, not clicked too, because that's what you do on Pinterest. But one thing that just really stood out to me on Pinterest is if you have like the top 5 ways to blank or the top 10 whatever,
Yeah.
putting a number with it and plus the list, and that links to something on your blog. So you're getting that link and that extension to your blog to bring more people to it. And if you make it like graphically aesthetic, if you make it look pretty, then they are more likely to come to your blog. So that's where Pinterest comes in, just as a link optimizer.
Oh, and when people search too, now that I think about it, 2 words,
Mhm.
just a simple word. I mean, and as marketers, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess in terms of, we do put our blog posts on here, but it's not it's not necessarily the most popular board. And the thing is, if you don't know what TSMRI is, that may or may not be appealing to you. So I try to post them in other places as well. But yeah, I agree. The first thing you notice on Pinterest is the picture, right? So if it's a really great picture and there's a list, 5 ways, I think it's, people see a number and they go, oh, 5 ways, I could just get right through that, as opposed to like 98 ways to save time.
Well, but I guess also I look at this and I think, do we have a blogging board? TSMRI.
We have a TSMRI blog board, yeah.
But I mean, like, is that a board about
Oh, yeah, I see
blogging?
what you mean. You
Or
mean
is that-
blogging. It's about our blog, it's not about blogging.
Right, that's what I mean. It's like, because I think when we started this, it was really more about, well, and this for that, at least for Hickman was when we started, it was very much, how do we sell our product? How do we get
Right.
them in? And then now we're having to go back and say, what is it that people really want? Because
I think for this, we could probably do some winnowing, because what happened was, I think Pinterest started getting popular in 2011.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's when it started, but that's when it started getting popular.
Right.
And so we signed up, and we did a couple Pinterest parties at the university,
Right.
and those were really popular. People would come, and they'd be like, this is the cake I made off of, or speaking on Pinterest, or like, this is the thing
Right.
I, sewed or whatever. And
The
people were,
DIYs,
right,
do it yourself.
yeah. People were really into it, and so, but honestly, I mean, there's boards on here that have been put by different people, and I don't know that we necessarily had a purpose. We just liked Pinterest, we thought it was cool. So it's probably be a good time to go back and go, what's working, what isn't, do we need all these boards, things like
But
that.
the Pinterest posts are mainly linked to other blogs, right? So if we add the blogging aspect to it, tips and tricks and all
Right.
that stuff, that might pull in more
It's-
people because
yeah.
they're probably trying to enhance their blogs as well.
Right, but then are we pulling into our content or other
well,
people's
but then
content?
that's where that 80-20 comes in, we were talking about. I think if we had, 7 other things and 3 of ours,
Yeah.
then it becomes like, they're not going to really.
It's not like a hard sell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it's the topics that people are trying to get help with, how to write better blog posts,
Right.
or and I think we tend to have a general one like Facebook, but it may not be specifically Facebook. It might be how to get your post to show up in
Right.
feeds, or like we might have to figure out what's the headline that's going to grab people.
Yeah, I think that's maybe something we should look at before school starts again. But yeah, are we trying to get educators and people that are doing research,
Yeah.
or are we trying to get people that are more marketers?
Well, and I think
Hold on.
we've changed in the sense that when we first started, we were doing a lot of presentations.
Yeah.
And now we're really trying to have the social media coach thing take off. And I think if the goal, let's just say, is to drive people to the page to sign up to get a social media coach, then what our boards and what our posts look like maybe need to drive in the direction of why you need help with your social media.
Right.
And why social media can be overwhelming. And
Yep.
how we can make that easier for you.
Yeah, you're right, because we've had this account for almost 3 years.
Yeah.
And we're not the same as when we started out before. There were a couple of other things. Just on Twitter real quick. If you're looking for people kind of in your tribe or that have similar interests, you mentioned Twitter lists earlier, and I really like Twitter lists. They're a little bit like Google circles in that if you click on a list, you're only going to get tweets from those people. So here we go, it's under more. That always screws me up. Okay, so more lists. These are some lists I'm subscribed to. So if I want to know what a lot of librarians and archivists and people like that are tweeting about, that'll take me here. And sometimes there's personal stuff. I apologize if anything weird shows up. But mostly it's people, talking about their careers and things related to libraries. So that's why I follow it. Alternatively, this is Tarleton, different departments. So if I just want to know what other people are tweeting about, make sure I haven't missed any news, I could go straight there. But also,
and you can create lists and subscribe to it.
Yeah, we were talking about mommy blog. Who's someone that's a really big mommy blogger?
The mommy snippets.
Is it at mommy snippets?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so if we go to her page and see
There
what
she
list
is.
she's on, there's probably going to be other influencers there. Or see who she thinks is worth following.
And here's the other thing while you're there. It's very interesting to see her stats. And so she has 133 photos and videos. So she doesn't post like a lot of photos and videos, but mostly links to her blog. So if you're interested, you would click that link. And also, she's only following slightly over 5,000 people. However, she has 12,000 followers. So some people think that it's a great ratio to have more followers than people that you're following. And that means you have more,
Twice as many.
yeah.
More influence, I guess. Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I guess they moved list. So list is under more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When they redid the.
Right, and I still can't get that. All right, so these are the lists she's subscribed to. Disney social media moms. We were talking about how that's like the creme de la creme. So you might be like, hey, what are they tweeting about? And then if you follow it, you can check this whenever you want. You might want to click through on people that you see appear over and over, see what their blogs are like, what are they doing, what are their hashtags that they're using. So that's one of the lists she subscribes to, AdventureCon. And then I'm guessing there's probably a lot of lists that she is on, that she is a member of, that other people have put her on. Children, kids, my followers, inspirational, moms, Texas bloggers.
You're on
there? Mommy blogger tweeters.
That's my demographic.
Say that 5 times fast. Go. No, I'm just kidding. SeaWorld, Wild Side. Let's see. Mommy blogger tweeters. Okay, so these are all people that apparently this person feels has influence. There's not a lot of people subscribing to it, so that's a little bit worrisome. But anyway, this would be a good way to go in and get some ideas. Just see what other people.
How do you go to these lists?
Oh, okay. So I don't know if there's a searchable way for, at least not on Twitter. There might be websites that have made their own lists. Here's a list of lists. What I do is try to find someone that's popular in that field. So I might do a hashtag. Like, is mommy blogger a hashtag? What's the hashtag that they use a lot?
SAHM.
Oh, see, I wouldn't know that because I'm not part of it. Okay, let me try this. Oh, okay. All right, so I did a quick search. Everything, people, photos, videos, news, timelines, advanced search. Let me just see what some of the results are. Gift givers and mommy bloggers. Okay, let me try. You might try advanced searching. I'd also try, I see some accounts on the bottom here. It's discovered. Some other people, you might click on some of these people, see who they're following. What's WAHM?
Work at home, Mom.
That's just boom, that's right. So let me see if she's on any list or who she follows. See, I'm not part of that. Like, I don't really know the lingo, literally. Whereas if it was like library related, I'd be like, ooh, and I would know like the little tags and stuff. See, I did it again. More. Okay. Mompreneurs. That's kind of groovy. 1,812 members. And it's a dude. Anyway. So